Big C's. Welcome to the Gritty Philly podcast. Again, we're here to talk about my boy. His name is Xzavier Gregory. And this pilot episode is named after him, Xzavier'S Legacy. I'm joined by Buck. He's going to be doing a special guest interview for me. So that way we could talk about Xzavier.
It's good, bro. I appreciate you for having me, man. It's an honor to be here with you today.
It's an honor to have you here, bro. Seriously.
Definitely. You know, I wouldn't rather be nowhere else but here with you right now, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I picked you
man.
for a reason, man, because me and you close, bro.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you.
We're going to get it done right.
Definitely. Yeah, so.
All right. So we're going to dive right into it,
Dive right in.
How you doing today, though? How you feeling?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing good.
Right.
When had a couple of errands to do today.
Yeah. A little running around.
Make sure everything was prepared for this.
Yeah. It's like the first nice day in Philly today, man.
Yes. First non-cold day.
Yeah, so, definitely happy for that.
Definitely.
Yeah, but we're going to dive right into it, man. So it's like, I know who you are, but who is Big C's? Can you tell us a little bit about your upbringing?
So, for me, born and raised Philadelphia. I had, parents, they're got 6 siblings. Well, five siblings. 5 siblings, yeah. But I'm one of 6.
Yeah.
I'm the second oldest.
Okay.
Diehard Eagles fan.
Yeah.
All Philly fan, for real.
Uh-huh.
I mean, so born and raised in Philly, that's expected of you.
Yeah.
I don't know how people can be Cowboy fans, man, but
get it.
But yeah, just a loving, caring father. Hardworking man, just
definitely, yeah.
It's everything I've done, up to this point in my life has, always been, to be the best father I can be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm just a hardworking man, a hardworking father.
I feel you. Now, what made you want to start a podcast?
So, me and my son, we originally talked about doing a podcast.
Okay.
We were, talking about it and just trying to figure out like how we would go about it and everything like that. So, it was a good idea, and I came up with the name and everything like that. My son liked it, and we were gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in October 11th, 2025, my son was taken from us.
Yeah.
He lost his life to gun violence.
Mm.
And I know this is something that we talked about, and I wanted to use this as a way to honor him.
Yeah.
And
bring awareness to it.
Yes, and bring awareness, to the city of Philadelphia, because gun violence, it takes anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
A bullet has no name.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's all about honoring him and honoring his legacy and on who he was and how great of a person he was, and how great of a son he was.
Yeah.
So that's I wanted to keep that going.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about your son? Like what type of kid was he?
So Zay was a real good kid, very funny, loving, caring. To know him was to love him. If he walked in a room, it was gonna make you smile or laugh, because that's just who he was.
Yeah.
He had the heart of a lion. He loved sports, loved Philly sports. He was an Eagles fan like me.
Mm-hmm.
He loved
Go Birds.
Yeah, go Birds all the way. He was a diehard Eagles fan, like I said. He loved the Sixers. He loved the Phillies. The year actually when the Phillies won the World Series was the year I met his mom. So
okay, that's tough. That's love.
Yeah, so it's crazy because I met her. They won the World Series.
Yeah,
and we went to the parade together and everything like that. And then a year later, Xzavier was born.
Yeah,
so
that's love.
Yeah, but yeah, Xzavier he loved his family.
Yeah,
he loved his mom to death. His mom was a real strong person for him. And she always wanted the best for him.
Yeah.
So Xzavier always made it a thing to be more than what he was supposed to for her.
A great son, make his mom proud. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
It was all about, her, showing her how good how good he can be.
Mm-hmm.
And, his mom was a real strong person in his life.
Yeah.
I'm his dad, and I've always been there for him. And but Xavier loved his mom to death.
Yeah.
So
us as young men, we try to put on for our mom, make our moms
definitely,
proud.
yeah.
Yeah. So, like, how's his mom, like, holding up, like, after losing him?
It was rough. It was rough because you go from seeing somebody every day, and he lived with his mom. So you go from sleeping in the same house, eating in the same house, waking them up to go to school, feeding them, joking around with them, going on trips with them, to it just being nothing anymore. Like, all you have is memories, and for that, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So like for her, for what she been through, man, with this, she's like, I've been saying it since it happened. She's the strongest person I know.
Yeah.
Like seriously. And she, the praise that that she deserves, not that I give, that she deserves for being as good as moms as she was to my son. Because one thing I ain't never had to worry about my son is if he was gonna be okay or not, because she always made sure he was okay.
Yeah.
So, like she no matter what, when it came to, parents argue.
Yeah, they gonna go through
and I always told, Xavier, make sure no matter whatever happens between me and your mom, you always respect your mother. Yep. And you always try to respect his mom. Always.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. I see we have a couple things here. Can you explain to us? Can you take us through and explain what these are right here?
Yeah. So this is his playing jersey for when he was at Ronhurst. He used to play for the Ronhurst Raiders up in Solly and the Boulevard. Okay. I mean, Solly and Bustleton. I apologize.
Okay.
So this was his last playing jersey that he had. When by the time he was he obviously got too old to play there. Yeah. So this was his last playing jersey. So
what position was he?
Huh?
What position was he?
He played defensive end and defensive tackle.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he was nice.
Oh, he was nice.
Yeah.
He was nice. He was always in the backfield, and always in the backfield. He always had like a little jump to get in the backfield.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But he was real good. So
that's fire.
Yeah, and then so obviously him being an Eagles fan, from the rip, the moment Devontae Smith got drafted to the Eagles, he was a huge Devontae Smith fan.
He's a Smitty fan.
Huge Smitty fan. Down to, you couldn't tell him nothing. Yeah. Everything was, Smitty the best player on the Eagles. Got the best hands in the league, the best route runner, and that's how he truly felt. He really loved Devontae Smith. Like that was his guy. So when I got him his jersey, he was excited, man. Like it was one of the greater moments that I had with him. So I mean, Devontae Smith, he doesn't know how much of an impact he made on my son, but he made a big impact on my son. My son really loved him. And then right here is Cody Rhodes. He gave my son a belt.
Yeah.
He gave my son this belt when we went to a house show for Ring of Honor. Now, this was when he was on the indie scene.
Yeah, okay.
So Xavier was like, I want to say like 08, 09. It was like, not 08, like 2018, 2019. He was around like 9, 10, maybe 11. And I took him, and he got to meet a bunch of wrestlers. He got to meet Cody Rhodes, and we was so during the end of the show, everybody was standing by the ramp, and the wrestlers are walking up. So Cody's signing all the autographs, stuff like that, and he had this belt on him. He took it off, and he seen Xavier. He gave it to him. He's like, "Here, you want this?" And my son's face lit up. Man.
That's legendary, right there.
Yeah, bro. It was great.
That's legendary.
It was great, man. As a father, to see my son be happy, that was all I lived for.
Yeah,
man.
And not every kid can say they got a Cody Rhodes belt, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Seriously. So I want to talk a little bit more about your son. So like, where were you when you got the phone call? Like, can you take us through that day a little bit?
Yeah. So that day, I was home. Everybody was supposed to go over to my mom's house later on during that day. So I was home. Earlier that day, I went to my nephew's football game because he was playing football.
Yeah.
So went home after that. And then after that, like hours went by, I was home. I had actually sent him a text message,
Okay.
you know, and sent him a text message 2 hours after he passed away, and I didn't know anything or anything like that. So, I want to say about after I sent him a text message, maybe like 2 hours later, his grandmom called me from his mom's side
Yeah.
and was like, "Hey, have you talked to Xavier? Have you seen Xavier?" I'm like, "No, he hasn't called me. He's probably with his friends, hanging out."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Are you sure he's not at your mom's house?" No, so I was like, "I'll check right now." So I called my mom. She's like, "No, he ain't there." Um, so I just started, I called my sister, asked. She said, "No, he wasn't. He wasn't. I can't hear from him." So then I want to say about maybe like 20 or 30 minutes later, my younger brother called me and he told me, he was like, "Yo, bro, I got some bad news." I got some bad news. Like, this shit is crazy. And I'm like, "What's going on?" He was like, "It's about Xavier, man." He's like, "It's not good." I'm like, "What? Like, what is it?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Bro, they told me Xavier got shot." So, me as a father, my heart just dropped.
Yeah.
And I was speechless. I was like, "What?" And he told he I couldn't speak. I was stuck, bro. So just going through that, I was just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
So
Something you thought was gonna be a regular day, just
it turned into something really bad. So I ended up calling my dad.
yeah.
And I told him what happened. He can't. I told him come pick me up because I wasn't gonna be in no shape to drive.
Yeah.
So he came pick me up. We went to the so then as we were driving, we started getting like news articles sent to us about like where the shooting took place and everything like that. And we were saying like that it was a man that got shot, not a boy, like
Yeah.
not a young boy or anything like that. He kept saying a man. So I was like, can't,
Yeah.
I
It
ain't
can't be
thinking it
my
was my
son.
son. Yeah,
Yeah.
So from that, then I started seeing people post. They started sending me pictures of people posting up Xavier. Like, "Come on, bro, like fight through this," or and then seeing other things saying "Rest in peace, Zay," or "Rest in peace, X."
Yeah.
And then I looked at the news article from where they said the person went to the hospital. So I went to the hospital and I went to ask them like, "What's going on? Like, what happened? Like I need like is my son here? Like I need to know if he's okay." They didn't want to tell me nothing because they didn't want me to react or anything like that. And
Yeah.
already because of so much time had passed by,
Mm-hmm.
Xavier died at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we didn't get nobody
Nothing.
notified
Nobody.
us about anything. We found out 11 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, so the hospital told us to go to the second district. We go to the second district. The cop, the sergeant told us somebody was shot. That I had to go down to a building down Broad and something. So me and my dad get down there, and we park on the side of the building. So
Yeah.
as we're walking, I walk up to the door, the first door I see. I pushed it, it was locked. I look up and I seen it said medical examiner. And when I seen that, that's when I knew my son was gone.
Yeah.
So I knew in my heart. And then when they showed us the picture of him, because we didn't even get to identify him.
No.
No, they showed us a picture of him. We didn't get to see his body. They showed us a picture of him in the hospital from the neck up,
Yeah.
with a tube in his mouth.
Wow.
So that right there broke me.
Like what's some of the feelings that was just running through your body like when you got to that building?
Oh, praying that it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Just praying, cause and I don't wish death on nobody else, but I was just praying that it was just somebody else
Yeah.
that not my son, but he was somewhere else. And when I seen that picture,
It just did something different to you, man.
it destroyed me.
Yeah.
It literally destroyed me, and I don't know how else to put it. It's like my heart was ripped out my chest, and I just felt empty, and nothing. There's nothing else that can take that pain, that would top that pain besides the day we buried him.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that, man.
It's hard, man.
Now, like, how do you shake back from that? Is it even a way to shake back from that? Like, what keeps you going on a day-to-day basis?
The fact that I got a daughter, I got to be strong for her
Yeah,
because, yeah, I lost my son, but it's not fair to her that, I can't be a dad,
yeah,
to her because I lost my son.
right,
You know, it's not fair because she lost somebody too. She lost her brother.
exactly.
She
Yeah.
can't lose her brother, and then me, I can't be a dad. Then you lose two people at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I got no choice but to be strong and be the strong dad and hold myself together.
Yeah,
Especially for her.
that's your baby girl, man. Like,
Yeah, like
God be there for her.
yeah, it was a hurt piece. I looking at her, cry that day we buried him, bro, that broke my heart because I've never seen my daughter cry that hard.
Yeah, and as a dad, you try to get your baby girl the world, but it's just like, what can I do? I can't fix this. Like,
Yeah, there's nothing. And, she tells me all the time she misses him. She can't, she wants to be with her brother. She loves him. She misses him.
Yeah,
Every time I go to pick her up, first thing I say, you want to go see your brother? Yes, Dad. I want to go see him right now.
yeah,
So
that's love, man.
Yeah.
Can't let her forget him, man.
No.
Now, how old is your daughter?
She's 10 years old.
10?
Yeah.
Okay. And like, how is she holding up? Like,
Believe it or not, she's holding up pretty strong, bro.
yeah,
She's one of the stronger people that I would say throughout this whole thing. She held herself together when I first told her. She couldn't believe it at first. She thought I was playing, and then I told her that no, like he really went with God.
yeah.
And she
And what was
just
that conversation like?
hard. It was
Yeah,
hard. I dreaded it that day because she came. So I found out that night, the very next morning, her mom brought her to me, so that way I can tell her because like that's
yeah,
something that I got to do as a father. I got to
yeah.
tell my baby girl that her brother's no longer here with us. So it was hard, man. So
I can't even imagine.
it was, yeah, no, it's the worst, bro. Like I don't wish that on nobody. I don't wish this pain on nobody. It's insane.
Yeah.
So
Now, how is the grieving process? Like, do you go to therapy?
no, so instead, I was supposed to go to therapy. I do need therapy because like sometimes I find myself, bro, I can't even control myself crying,
Yeah,
but instead of therapy, all I've been doing is burying myself in work,
yeah.
and just to stay busy, keep my mind busy.
Try to keep your mind off it. Yeah,
Yeah, because it's once my mind is on it, it's a wrap. Like
yeah.
like it was one day at work I couldn't even control my crying. Everybody's telling me like, yo, like you good? Take 10 minutes, and I'm like, no, I'm good, because if I take 10 minutes, it's just gonna be on my mind, and I can't have that.
It's not gonna
So
be 10 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna end up wanting to go home. So just being strong, throughout this whole thing is really what it is,
yeah,
man, and just to keep pushing forward. Sometimes everybody, they tell me like that I look like I'm holding up really well. I mean,
Oh,
that's
on the outside,
that's an outside picture.
on the
When I
inside,
when I'm
it's
by myself, but even when I'm by myself,
yeah,
like I can't control myself crying. I think about him. I'm looking at videos of him because I don't want to forget his memory, and I don't want to forget what he sound like, what he looked like, how he made me feel,
yeah.
because my son was my firstborn. I had 7 beautiful years before I had my daughter. I
Mm-hmm.
had 7 beautiful years, with my son,
Just you and him.
just me and him.
Yeah,
And I had him when I just turned 17 when we had
yeah.
him. I was a kid raising a kid.
And you had a son. That's little you right
You know
there.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was that he made me feel special. I will never like he made me the man I am.
yeah.
And like that the grieving process through this is so hard.
Yeah.
So
Now he'd definitely be proud of the work you putting in, man. I could see that myself, We locked in, so he'd definitely be proud of you, man.
and I appreciate it.
Yeah. I see you on Instagram. You at the grieve, every day, bro. Like not even exaggerating. You post that every day, bro. So yeah, he'd definitely be proud of you, man. You definitely keeping his name alive, man.
No, definitely. And me being at the cemetery, it's that's my way of, getting my feelings out. Like sometimes I'll be having a bad day.
Yeah.
I go there and I just talk to him and I just let it out. Cry hard, let it all out. That way I don't feel, so
Like that weight on you.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
and that weight is crazy. And like I
Mhm.
said, when I say I don't wish this on nobody, I don't wish this on nobody at all. Because like losing him was that was losing my life.
Yeah.
So
Like, what's some of your favorite memories with him?
well, number one always will be witnessing his birth.
Yeah. Take us through that day, man.
So the day before I was working, she and then she was like, oh, like she had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So when we went to the hospital, we was there. It was on a Sunday. That my son was born too. So we went. Was there next morning, 10:56. Xavier's born.
Yeah.
Yeah, September 20th, 2009. Xavier's born. 8 pounds. Yeah, so I mean, just witnessing him, witnessing my son being born,
Yeah.
like this is my little guy,
Mhm.
like this is mine.
It hit different. Yeah.
Every time. So just witnessing him being born and just knowing he was going to be special to me.
Yeah.
Because literally, I got a picture with my son and I got a picture of my daughter holding both of them. And like I said, when I held my son, I knew he was going to be special.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it. And he was a special, special kid to me, man.
Yeah.
Xavier will always, that first, hearing him cry, man, that was everything to me, man. Just hearing that because, like I said, that was my little guy.
Yeah.
I didn't have a great relationship with my dad, so one of the promises I made to myself was I was going to be the best father I can be, and I knew that from that moment when I seen him, I was going to be the best dad I could be for him. Another moment, would be when so we took a trip to New York. It was me, my dad, him, and we was to go see family in Queens. So
Okay.
we was there for all day. So me and him went and sat outside, after eating pizza and everything like that, because New York is the pizza spot.
New York pizza different.
So we sitting outside, and then we was just sitting there, talking, and I was like, making fun of him, and then he was like, "Oh, I like you too." So we just kept saying it back and forth, and then he was breathing, like he would like breathe on me because I told him his breath was hot.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Bro, your breath hot, like chill," and he like, he just kept breathing on me. So from that moment, like me and him just had like a real great moment, and we just like that. That was one of them. That was one of them times.
Yeah.
And then
little bonding moment.
Yeah. And then one of my this will probably be one of my favorite moments. Actually, I got two more.
Yeah.
So for his 14th birthday,
Okay.
me what's it called? Like what I wanted to do was I wanted to get him his Devontae Smith jersey.
Yeah.
So and this is the actual jersey I bought him for his birthday. So for his 14th birthday, I bought it for him, wrapped it up and everything. So he he grabbed it and he was like, "Oh, I know what this is." I was like, "Oh, you do?" He was like, "Yeah." And he just couldn't believe it. He was like, "Yo!" And then he, once he seen it was stitched, he was like, "Thank you, Dad. I appreciate it." And that like that, just hearing that, because that's one of my favorite videos I got of him.
Yeah.
And that's when he said, he even said like, best Devontae Smith, best Eagles player ever.
So he liked him over AJ, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you gotta figure he was the Eagle before AJ was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but then my final moment that was a great moment for me was watching the Eagles win their second Super Bowl. My son was never a crier. My son was never like like that. He was
like emotional.
Yeah, he wasn't. He would get emotional like sometimes, but it would take a lot to get him to cry.
Yeah.
So when they won the Super Bowl, we was everybody's cheering and everything like that. Me and him just seeing each other, and I was like, we won the Super Bowl, son, and like literally he put his arms out, gave me this hug, and he was crying with me. And that moment right there, like that, I replay that moment every day in my life, bro. Every single day since he passed, I replay that moment because, like like I said, he wasn't a crier, bro, and me and him, we embraced each other so hard, and like that was like the best hug I ever got from him. We went down to Frankfurt and Kottman.
Yeah.
Had a blast. We ended up meeting his cousins there, and it was everybody there. So we had a great night. And like I said, that moment for me,
It just hit different.
it's so different.
Yeah.
My son was with me for the first Super Bowl, but it hit different the second Super Bowl, and it was like it meant so much to me.
Yeah. I bet, man. I bet.
Yeah, so it meant a lot. He meant a lot to me. So
yeah. Now, bro, what's some of the like hardest moments people might not realize that parents go through after losing a child?
I mean, finding out that your child is no longer here.
Yeah.
Having to look at having to identify. It was just that was hard.
Yeah.
Just realizing, like I'm never going to be able to speak to him, talk, hug him, hold him, tell him I love him or anything like that anymore. It's hard, man. That was like, that's so hard. And it still is, bro. Like still to this day, I pray to God every single day. Let me switch spots with him. I lived 33 years of my life. I'm satisfied because at least I know I got to enjoy my kids. I know how great they are. They're both wonderful kids.
Yeah.
And like Xavier was 16. He still got. I got half. He got half of my life.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would rather him be here than me. Granted, like they'll be in pain because they ain't got their dad, but they got their moms.
Yeah.
They're gonna get them through this. One of my biggest rocks through this whole thing has been my dad.
Yeah.
And like I said, me and him didn't have a relationship, so but just going through all of this, that's like a hard moment. Getting back to my mom's house, that night, everybody's walking in. I stood outside for a second, just breathed and was crying. And literally that first night, and I don't talk about this to anybody like that. I tell my family because, I can trust them with this. But that first night, bro, I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to take myself out. My family made sure I was not alone the whole night. But, bro, that was the only thing on my mind because in my mind, how do I live without my son?
Fact.
How do I go on pushing forward without my boy? My firstborn, my everything. There's nothing that compares to the amount of love that I have for that boy. Xavier was such a great kid. And, to not have him in this world, it hurts. And, like I'm tired of the pain. I'm tired of the suffering. So not having him, it's just like, why am I here with this pain? And like I just want it to end. I'm tired of being strong.
Yeah.
It's tiring.
And you said your family helps you through that a lot?
Yes. So my family has been my biggest support. I got best friends too, that been there for me through everything, and they love my son dearly. My dad though, my dad has been the biggest rock for me. When I tell you from the start, like when I tell you, he knew when we left the hospital that my son was already gone because he said if he was alive, they would have let me go back to see them.
Yeah.
So he knew, but he didn't want to.
He didn't want to tell you that.
He didn't want to tell me that. He wanted, he wanted me to have to, go through it.
Yeah.
So my dad, like I really appreciate him like a lot, and I like me and him didn't have the greatest relationship,
Yeah.
growing up. He was always working, and we didn't have a great relationship, but him, later on down the line became a phenomenal dad, phenomenal grandfather to both my kids.
Yeah.
And, like I can't thank him enough, like
Shout out to Pops, man.
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna address him. I want to address him right now. So, Dad, when you watch this, I just want to let you know I appreciate you for how much you was there for me, and being that rock that I needed to get through this. You don't understand how much I love you and I care about you, and I thank you for everything. I really do. Nobody understands the amount of pain that I'm going through, and you literally held it down for me. I want you to know I love you and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I really do love you, Dad, and thank you.
Now, what's something that you like wish people understood about gun violence that they really don't, especially in Philadelphia? I feel like a lot of young boys these days, they just skip past getting money. They just straight get a gun and want to kill. So what's something you like wish they understood about gun violence? Like,
Well, one thing, once you pull that trigger, anybody's life you take, they're gone. That's
yeah,
it. They're not coming back. There's nothing you can do to bring that person back. So the smallest little thing, is no point, to take a life. Nowadays, they're so quick to take a life because that's the cool thing to do.
mm-hmm.
But, how is taking a life cool?
Yeah.
How they, like look at my son. This he's 16 years old. Life, way ahead of him, to
Exactly.
keep going. And, he loses his life over something that didn't have nothing to do with him. Just being a loyal friend.
That's crazy.
Like bullets ain't got no name.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can be shooting at one person, thinking, oh, I'm gonna hit them. Your bullet misses them and kills a little girl or kills a little boy. Kills a
Old
grandmom,
lady,
a grandpop, a mom, a dad, uncle, aunt. You never know who you taking, or I mean, who you gonna kill because you don't know if you hit the person you need to.
Yeah.
It's so many lives that's been lost, to unnecessary gun violence in this city, and like honestly, for real, I don't even understand how kids nowadays are getting their hands on these guns.
Exactly.
Like, because again, the person that took my son's life was 17 years old and didn't need to. He wanted to, because when that problem, that whatever issue that they had
Yeah.
was squashed, my son and his friends walk away. You go back in the house and grab your gun and come out and start shooting. Like,
Just probably thinking he cool,
or showing off for his girlfriend, because really that's all it was, showing off for a girl.
Yeah.
And now, look, you about to do, you don't know how many years you gonna do in jail because you took somebody's life.
And see, that's what like I think a lot of people don't really understand like what comes behind that. The jail time that comes behind that, for one. Like you probably ready to do life in jail for what?
For a female that's not even gonna
For what?
even be holding you down, for because y'all young. You think she's gonna waste her whole life waiting on you?
Yeah, exactly. She a
them
kid, like
yeah, like they're gonna jump to the next person because
Mhm.
they're available.
Exactly.
So, and then on top of that, you destroying lives because, and it's not just, Zay's life you destroying. You killing his mom, his dad, his sisters. Like Xavier got two sisters that no longer have, no longer can see their brother.
Exactly.
The families, because both families loved Xavier dearly, and he was a big part of both our families, mine
Mhm.
and his mother. And he really like when they say you don't know what's strong, like what's important till it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, so everybody, seeing that, he passed away was, like that was like an eye opener, and like, damn, like we really just lost him,
Yeah.
and for my family, that was the first big death in our family.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was the closest death and it's crazy because me and my sister was told we know we're always my younger sister, we're always talking about it, like, because my grandma, she's the, she's been she raised, my mom's kids, so
Yeah.
like my grandma, she's up there in age. So,
Mm-hmm.
we're expecting, her, like to, like to be the first major death. Obviously
Yeah.
when she gets older and everything like that.
Yeah.
Never in a million years would my family, his mom's family, or us think we would lose our son
At,
to
a,
gun violence because he wasn't that type of kid
at such a young age.
at
Yeah.
such a young age. Xavier wasn't the one running the streets. He wasn't, doing none of that. He was
Yeah.
a good kid, loved sports, loved his family. He had friends, good friends that he, was around before.
Yeah.
So
Now, were the police able to catch the person that did this?
yes. So they caught him, and it's ironic. Xavier died on October 11th,
Okay.
2025. His mom's birthday is October 13th. So they caught the person that killed Xavier on his mom's birthday. So
Mm.
it was literally, and when they talked to us, it was like, listen, like we got good leads, we seen, everything. So,
Yeah.
they said, that they was gonna let us know. Just give them a day. We gave them a day, and they called us that on that Monday morning.
Wow. Now, what's some of the things you do today to like just keep his name and his spirit alive?
I post them all the time.
Yeah, I be seeing, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like, because one thing about me, man, my son he was a bright light in my life. So, I post him all the time. I talk about him all the time to people. Like I'm okay to talk about my son,
Yeah.
and not get emotional. It's when people get emotional around me, or I think about emotional moments is when I get emotional. So I could talk about him and everything like that, but it's the emotional moments that get me.
Yeah.
So talk about him all the time. I go to the cemetery, talk to him. I pray. I get on live and show him off.
Yeah.
I post pictures all the time. I talk to his mom every day. We talk. We try to talk about everything. We ask everything how we doing.
Yeah.
Just, and like I said, anybody I talk to, I'm always letting them know about what happened, like what's going on with my son. Like I was at the Philly Expo today,
Yeah.
and like I was just waiting in line, and people were telling me like, "Oh, you got a nice hoodie, like that was nice." I was like, "Yeah, no, this is a podcast for me and my son. He passed away in October." Like so I'm getting it out there,
Mm-hmm.
letting them know like, yeah, this podcast is something, and it's for my boy.
Exactly. You
So
letting the story be known. Yeah, that's
yeah,
very important.
definitely.
Now, what's something like you would tell the next kid that's like thinking about picking up a weapon and committing a crime? Like, what's a message you would tell them?
Think think before you do something that you're gonna regret for the rest of your life. I mean, you're not only destroying another life and another family's life, you're destroying your life as well, because you lose your freedom.
Yeah.
Your family don't got you no more, so you're destroying your family. Like that's something that you never get, that, and you could never take that back. No matter how much you wish you could say, oh, I wish, I never did it, everything like that. Once the job is done, it's done.
Yeah.
So doing that, it's bad. It's a bad
Yeah.
job. So,
And do you have any messages for like any grieving parents out there?
um, parents, if you grieving, you need help, get it. Um, Also reach out to me, because I'm a grieving parent as well. You know, uh, I'm navigating through this as best as I could, and if I can help you, get through this, I'll do the best I can. We cry together, whatever it needs to be. But, and if you have a story that needs to be told, I will definitely gladly invite y'all to come on here and tell your story, because at the end of the day, these lives that are lost are very important. Your lives are important. So everybody's story needs to be told. You also need to know that it's okay to talk about it and it's okay not to be okay, because I'm not okay. I'm still going through emotions, still going through it. So if you going through it, reach out. Again, I'm here. They're giving me resources to to try to heal. I can then give y'all the same resources to try to heal as well. But again, closed mouths don't get fed. So if you're going through something, don't hold it in, because all you're gonna do is make it worse for yourself. So please reach out.
It's a strong message right there, bro. Now I want to ask, what's next for Big C's? What can the world be looking out for? What should they be looking out for from you?
To take this podcast to new heights. I really want to make this thing something big,
Yeah,
because
I believe you can, bro. Definitely. I believe you can.
And I'm not afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to voice my opinion. I'm not afraid to let people know what's going on. So like I want to make this something huge. But again, this is all to honor Xzavier's legacy, because this is his legacy. My life was to live for him, and him, my daughter. Now my life is to keep his name alive and keep honoring him the best way I can.
Yeah.
And still be that same father to my daughter. So that, just becoming a better father, a bigger, better person. I also, took a big step in faith. I've never been a church man growing up, like I've never been involved in church like that.
Yeah.
I took a leap, and, I feel a lot better, knowing that I have a relationship with God, and, having a relationship with God is important, again, it's whatever religion you're in.
Yeah.
I'm Christian, but I respect Islam. I respect
Trust me, I
Muslims.
know, man. Yeah.
I mean, I tell you're Muslim yourself, and I
Yeah.
tell you all the time, like I respect it, and when it comes to you, like I don't play,
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but having faith has been a big thing for me. So I want to take my faith, and do something with that as well.
Yeah.
I go to a block church in Port Richmond.
Okay.
It's called Riverside now. So, but that's a great church to go to. Shout out Pastor Julio. Appreciate you. But yeah, I mean, just to bring awareness to everything that's going on.
Yeah.
That's going to be the biggest thing for me, bringing more gun, awareness to the gun violence,
Definitely.
in the city.
Definitely.
Because, I lost my boy, 16 years old, man.
Yeah. Is there any other messages you want to get out there to the world?
Love your kids as much as you can. Appreciate them. Do not take it for granted, because at any point in time, you can lose your kid. Your kids can be, here at one moment, and in a blink of an eye, gone. So for me, honor your kids. Love your kids. Spend as much time with your kids. Put your phones down, because your phones take so much time away from you being with your kid. Granted, we're in a day and age where electronics are an important part of what everybody does.
Yeah.
But for me, it's put the electronics down. Go have fun. Go outside. Go do something with yourself. Because playing, the electronics, they take away from the moments that you could be building. Moments that you could be having. Some of my greatest moments are without electronics. And like I said, yeah, you go watch TV. That's an electronic, but it's a great moment. Like watching football.
Exactly. Yeah.
So build that. Build that relationship. Spend that time, because that's important. It's crucial. So spending time with your kids is important. I don't care what anybody says. I wish every day, even for 10 minutes more with my son, even a second, just to tell him I love him and hear it back. You know, I'm never gonna get that ever again. Everything I have now is just videos, pictures, and memory.
Yeah.
That's it. So I like to put, like pay more attention to your kids. That's how I feel for me.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's very important because I feel like today's world, parents just get a kid the iPad, the phone, and go ahead somewhere.
Yeah.
So definitely, hug your kids more, tell them you love them more, make sure they know they loved. Definitely important, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like I said, being a dad, who's, lost, I've had a tough life.
Yeah,
I was homeless once and I lived out of my truck. Me and my family, we lived in a bando before.
yeah,
I didn't have the greatest upbringing, none of us did.
yeah.
But, like I took something and made something of myself, like I work hard. I like no matter what I go through, like even this is the worst pain ever imaginable, bro.
Yeah,
And I still got the strength and I still got the perseverance to keep pushing forward.
I'm putting that work in.
And,
Yeah,
because like every day, everybody tells me, I don't know how you showing up to work. I wouldn't be able to. I don't know how, how you still living. I wouldn't be able to.
yeah,
Like hearing stuff like that just lets me know how strong of a man I really am.
yeah.
And how strong of a father I really am.
I take a different type of strength, man.
Yeah, no,
I
it
give it
definitely
to you,
does.
bro. Yeah,
It definitely does. And, like every day, every single day, I really wish, bro, that it was me in the ground and he was still here.
yeah.
Because that's, like, to me, that's the only way my pain will be gone because I know he will be good. So,
Well, man, just keep going every day, putting that work in, keep making Xavier proud, man.
yeah,
That's what it's all about, bro.
no, definitely. And that's what it's always been about, making
Yeah,
him proud because without him, there is no Big C's.
yeah,
So, Big C's, like me, who I've been, who I became, has all been to be the best man possible to show my son how to be.
yeah.
Because men nowadays, some people don't even claim their
I'm about to
kids.
say some of them not even present, man.
Yeah,
Like,
like I got a friend that literally, he told the girl, he said, you can keep the baby. I'm not gonna be around.
yeah.
So like
Crazy.
to say something like
That's
that,
crazy.
is wild, like,
Yeah,
and for me, like the becoming a dad was the biggest blessing of my life,
yeah,
so I can't never get my son back. And I tell people all the time, when they be like, oh, like my kids get on my nerves, I'll be like, yeah, but at least your kids are here to get on your
I
nerves.
wish my, yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Your kids are here, to remind you, that you are a parent. That's what they're here for.
Yeah.
And remind you that you have to give out that love if you want to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all about taking a picture,
It's not.
and show, oh, let me share my moment on Instagram, Facebook, social media, just let me show show that I'm a good parent, but behind closed doors, you're not really paying attention to your kid, or
Exactly.
you're not giving that love, so
Kids definitely keep you on your A game, man. Like,
yeah.
my
No,
kids keep me on my A game. When they call for Robux,
Yeah,
I gotta make sure I'm on my A game, so I don't never gotta tell them no, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Same with me, with my daughter. Like
Yeah.
she always keeps me on my toes. She's like another mini me. So like she's funny like me. She has my personality and everything. So with my kids, they both inherited my personality, and that's what I loved about it because we all three of us knew how to joke around. We all knew how to have a good time. We all like similar stuff.
Yeah.
Except pizza. My son hated pizza because of my daughter. But
That's why y'all able to have so many great memories, though, because of
exactly,
things like that.
and that's why I tell people all the time, honor your kids and enjoy that time.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
them little moments, it could be the smallest little moments. Y'all watching a movie and y'all all laughing, or y'all try a different type of food for the first time,
Yeah,
and everybody like it. As these moments that we have in life are meant, for you to have so that you can enjoy life.
yeah.
Because when you at the end of the road, all you have left is memories, and you got
Mhm.
somebody taking care of you 9 times out of 10.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, why not make make everything the best moments possible,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I know I did the best I could with Zay, you know, like I took him to basketball games, football. Most of his first times doing everything is with me.
Yeah.
First Eagles game with me. First Sixers game with me. First Phillies game with me.
That's
You
love.
know,
Yeah.
like first wrestling show with me. First WWE event with me. You know,
And my man got the belt.
you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
like, I mean, why not embrace those moments? You know, why not enjoy that time? You
definitely.
know, and just be happy to have that because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, you never know when that time is gonna be gone. Somebody's ticket's gonna get punched.
Exactly.
I could be
yeah.
talking to you right now, and then tomorrow I could lose my life.
Yeah.
So you never know what it is. So just make sure you always enjoy that time. And that's even and like I see you, you a good dad, but make sure that you enjoy that time that you have with your kids because that's the best moments you're ever gonna get.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
And that's like some parents think it's all about finances. It's not. You can go to the park for free. It's a lot of free stuff out there. So you don't got to be the best parent as long as you're a triumph and a present parent,
exactly.
Yeah,
Like me,
definitely.
like I said, I never had the glamorous life. I lived in a bando, before with my moms
Yeah.
and my siblings. We we didn't have the best upbringing. We wasn't born with a silver spoon,
Yeah.
So I like I did for what I was able to provide, I did the best I could for my kid.
Yeah.
And like I said, even if it's just going to the park, even if it's just going, out to eat, taking them to get ice cream, do whatever, the moments, are very important. It's not all about financial, because you can be the richest parent in the world, but if you give your kid everything that they want, right, at that point, they're not gonna respect it or appreciate
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Whereas, you have fathers like and mothers like Xavier's mom,
Mm-hmm.
that work hard to put everything in play.
Yeah.
Like everything that we provided is not just given.
Yeah.
We got to work hard. You work hard, you get to spend money, you get to enjoy it. You get to create memories.
Exactly.
So you work hard, you get to play hard.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, man, I appreciate you for having me today. It's an honor, definitely, to be
uh,
here with you today, man. I'm rocking with you. We locked in.
always, bro. And again, I appreciate you, taking time out of your day, to come do this because, not a lot of people, are going to be like, yeah, let me come and do this,
Yeah.
and it's not for, the right reasons.
Exactly.
Like, not once have you brought up, something about yourself because you got your own thing going on.
Exactly.
And you strict, like I even talked to you about bringing something on here. You said, no, this is about your son.
Yep, exactly.
It's about honoring your son. And, like that hit so hard for me and just gave me so much more respect for you because you care more about my son than about putting your name out there.
Exactly. Definitely, bro.
And that meant so much to me.
It's genuine, bro. Genuine love, bro.
And since me and you met each other, it's been, genuine love. And it's crazy because we know so many people.
Exactly, yeah.
We know so many of the same people. And me and you have never met a day in our life. But
we met up on our own, yeah.
And then the first day me and you met, literally, like this, me and you was
exactly,
locked in. So, like I said, I appreciate everything, from you coming on here, you making sure that I'm good, and just making sure that, you can be another, person there for me.
Gotcha, bro.
During the darkest time of my life.
Yeah.
Because I'm still going through it. I'm never gonna heal from this. So, like having great support,
could go a long way, man.
Go a long way. Goes a long way. And for me, just the support system I've had, for me, my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers, my best friend Mickey, my friend Damon, my best friend Melissa, they all they all been there for me. I got a friend named Cynthia who her and her husband, they text me every single day just to let me know that I'm a strong person. My life is worth it. Don't let the enemy win.
Yeah.
And that I'm well loved. For people to take the time out of their day to make sure I'm good, bro, that means so much to me because, like I said, I was at a point in time where I wanted to take my own life.
Yeah.
And not even just with this, because I suffer from depression, I suffer from anxiety, and like I've been in that moment where I wanted to take my own life, but I had kids, so I fought through that depression and everything like that. I pushed myself out of that.
Yeah.
For this, only for this to happen and me wanting to do it. And still to this day, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to be here because I'm in pain. I don't want to be here anymore. But I have a daughter to live for. And it's like I said earlier, it's not fair to her.
Yeah.
So I gotta take that pain that I got and I gotta make sure that I'm doing, I'm doing something productive with it. Because why not take my pain and turn it into my power?
Facts, yeah.
Because my pain turning into my power
Yep.
ends up to be this.
Exactly, yep.
So why not push forward? Why not remain strong? Why not, keep being the good father that I am? Why not keep being the good person that I am, the good friend, the good son, the good nephew, grandson? It's so many people, it's so many important people, that are out there, that I can't, I can't name all of them, but
they
I
love
can
you,
tell,
man. They care about you,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? And, everybody being there for me meant so much. And even the new people that came into my life, like you,
Yeah.
Like I said, you know me since December 27th, my first day at work.
Yeah.
And, like I said, you've been so strong for me, bro. And you've been such an important part at my daily routine. I mean, me and you be bidding all the time,
all
man,
day, man.
everything. And, like I said, you become an important part of my life, you know what I mean? When I go to work, I look forward to seeing my brother, you know what I mean? So, and I appreciate it, man. And I appreciate everybody because without y'all, I would not be here. Without my daughter, I would not be here. So, again, I can't stress it out anymore on how important it is that everybody is to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So for me, again, thank you. This is
Thank you, bro, for having me, man.
This is truly a blessing.
Yeah.
And I want to thank everybody again for everything. My strength comes from y'all. My strength comes from all of y'all. And when I tell y'all I would not be here, and I know I keep saying it and I keep repeating it, but I want y'all to know I would not be here had it not been for how many people love me and show me the support that I had. I really thank all of y'all. I mean it, like I really do. I can't stress it out enough. I'm thankful, to have such a great daughter. Mia, you mean the world to me. Just seeing, you smile after all we've been through in these last couple months has been great for me in my healing. Just to see you smile, see you laugh, and see you enjoy, try to enjoy life as we going through this dark time in our life. Angie, I tell you all the time, you're the strongest person I know. I love you to death. I told you I'm always gonna be here for you no matter what. I appreciate you. And, thank you for being the greatest mother that you could be to my son. I really do appreciate it. I really do. And last but not least, Xavier, my boy, you have become such an inspiration in my life. And I want you to know how much I love you and how much I care for you and how much I miss you and how proud I am to be your father and how proud I am that you were the best son that a dad could ever ask for. I cannot stress it out enough how much you meant to me. And being how hard that has been, I'm grateful that I've had you as a son, and I'm grateful for the 16 beautiful years that I got to experience with you. And I love you so much, man. And I was the first one to see you in this world, Pop. And I was the last one to see you out, man. And I love you to death. And I miss you. I really miss you. And thank you again for being the greatest son a dad could ever ask for, man. And I love you. Long live Xavier, man.
Long live X, man.